Juan.
Hello.
Hi John, we're here with John from iBike. Got a new product that he wants to tell us about. Hi John, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
All right, what's this new product that you want to tell us about that your company came up with?
Well, the truth is, at this point, it's not that new. It's 3.5 years old. We've sold thousands and thousands of these things. But the product is this. This is a product that we call the iBike. This happens to be the Aero version of it. We have 3 different models. And a lot of people are learning about what it means to have a power meter on their bicycle. When you ride a bike, your body is like an engine that produces power, and the better cyclist you are, the easier it is to produce more power, and the easier it is to produce power longer. So for years and years and years, professional cyclists have been training with power because it's a great way to get better, it's a great way to discipline yourself during a race, and it's a great way to do things like measure how many calories you burn and help you lose weight if you're not into winning the Tour de France or something. But the thing is that for years and years, they have been extremely expensive devices, costing thousands of dollars.
Right.
So when we started our company in 2004, we said, you know, we think there's a better way to do it, and the way is to make it possible to make these devices very economical.
Now, your company is based out of down here?
We're in Boca Raton. These products are made in the United States by the man who is standing just off camera here, Jay Todd.
Hi, Jay.
This is just another 7-day work week for Jay because we've had very good success, and so we get our materials from the United States. We assemble them in Boca Raton. We ship them all over the world, things are good. Quick rundown is this: most people have bicycle computers, and they mount on their handlebars, and most bicycle computers have speed, distance, and time measurement. So the iBike is just like that: speed, distance, and time. What's new and unique to us is the ability to measure power right from the computer head. And the idea is a very simple one, but a very interesting one, which is that when you ride a bicycle, you put force on the pedals. That's power being transferred from your body to the bike. And the world, up until us, said, well, we'll measure how much force you put on the pedal. That means a special wheel, a special hub, a special crank, a special bottom bracket, very expensive stuff. What we said is, you know what, when you apply force to the bike, that force has to be opposed by something else. And the opposing forces are wind. So we measure wind speed right there in that little wind port, just like an airplane design.
That's interesting, yeah.
We measure hill slope. So when you climb a hill, you work harder. We measure acceleration, how fast you move forward on the bike, and we even measure friction.
Has like an accelerometer built in, like my iPhone.
Yes. The reason we measure opposing forces is because when you add them up, they equal exactly the amount of force you're putting on the pedal. Applied and opposing forces are always equal. I just told you Newton's third law of physics in bicycle terms. But the difference is this: because of our way of measurement, everything is inside this. It weighs 2 ounces. It's totally portable from bike to bike. You can use any crank you want, any wheel you want, any hub you want, no restrictions. And if you got multiple bicycles, you just move it from one to the other.
Right.
Now, we use components that have been designed for aerospace and automotive applications. They are very reliable and made by the millions. So instead of spending $2,000, $3,000 for a power meter, you can get an iBike for as little as $200.
Now, show me a little bit about the software that's involved, because naturally, it's not going to do everything without the software. Right?
Well, I hope you can see some of this.
Yeah.
This is from a bicycle ride this morning that Leo did on A1A. On a bike ride, people are anyone who owns a bicycle computer has bike speed. Okay?
Right.
And that's the white line. And so on this bike ride, most of the ride was done in the 25-mile-an-hour range. Okay? So anybody with a bike computer would know that. here's where we begin to see some differences. What's important about a power meter is that as you bicycle, it takes more or less effort to ride the bike. So up here in the green is the power line. Now this is something that power meters have done for years and years, and anyone who owns a power meter will understand or look at this and say, oh yes, at this point the cyclist was riding at about 15 miles an hour and putting not very much power, only 100 watts. You can see here that something happened that caused him to put out a lot of power. Let's see if we can figure out what that is, okay? Now what I'm going to do is show you some of the things that are absolutely unique to the iBike. Because of our whole concept of measuring opposing forces, one of the most important forces is wind. So when I put wind into the equation, I can now see the wind speed, not just the bike speed. So for example, here at the beginning of the ride, Leo was riding by himself. There was very little natural wind, so the wind speed, which is in blue, kind of oscillates around the bike speed.
I got you.
Okay, he's riding by himself. Guess what happens here? He picks up his buddies. Everybody rides in groups on A1A, and he's riding safely in the Peloton. And even though his speed goes from about 17 miles an hour up to 25 miles an hour, if I highlight this area and I look, he's only putting out 118 watts. He's coasting. He's taking it easy.
He was drafting.
He's drafting.
Right.
When you ride in the draft, the people ahead of you are pushing the wind ahead, making it easier for you to ride. And that's precisely what the iBike measures. And in fact, the iBike says that even though the bike speed was around 25 miles an hour, the wind speed was maybe 15. So the guys ahead are pushing the wind 10 miles an hour ahead. It makes it much easier to ride. Now, why is that important? It's important because when you're in a Peloton and you're rotating, you're coming to the front, and you take your turn at the front. It's when you get to the front that things get interesting. And in fact, right here, you can see that all of a sudden the wind speed jumps and in fact is higher than the bike speed. What does that mean? It means that there was a headwind, and it also means, check this out.
Well, does that mean
right
that
here,
he went to the front of the line?
He went to the front of the line, and in this area, he's pulling. There's nobody blocking the wind for him, and I can see that. And he is putting out nearly 400 watts.
Yeah.
Something unique to the iBike is you can use this information to say, when did you pull, how long did you pull, and how hard did you pull, and how often. So I can look at this ride file. Here he pulls, puts out about 400 watts. He drops back into the pack. Here I can see all of a sudden wind speed picks up again. He's pulling from here to here. That was a 358 watt pull. Drops into the pack here. I call these icicles when the blue line hangs below the bike.
Right.
Pulls here again. So he's pulled 3 times, and I'm just looking at his ride file. He did 3 pulls in that ride. Now here's an interesting question. If a cyclist is trying to get better and is doing a group ride, how often should you pull and how hard? I think that, for this training ride, if I were coaching Leo, I would say, hey, it was fun, but you're a good cyclist, as evidenced by the fact that you can have strong pulls, but you're not working yourself very hard.
Anyway, that's very good. Thank you so much. Can you just tell us where can people buy this product?
You can buy it online from our website.
And what's your website?
It's iBikesports.com. So it's,
okay.
Or if you're in the Boca Raton area, come on by and see us. We'd love to meet you and show you how.
Sounds good. And Leo over here at Velo Cyclery.
Leo Velo Cyclery, they sell it.
They sell it here, and he's an expert at it. You taught him well.
I hope so.
You hope so.
And we support our customers. So. Thanks very much.
Well, thank you very much, John. It was a pleasure talking to you, and that's it. Thank you for showing us your product, and hopefully some of our team members from Team Storm Riders will be using your products to improve ourselves. Thank you so much.
Sure, thanks.